Payment of tithing as fire insurance. Nonetheless, the word of the Lord is clear, that those who do not keep the commandments and observe the laws of God shall be burned at the time of his coming. For that shall be a day of judgment, a day of sifting, a day of separating the good from the evil.
Travis Wayne Goodsell. So, after doing the Nelson Replied to Me video, it's after 6 p.m. and I recall it's now in the Jewish calendar the 22nd of September. And so, yeah, that's an important thing to remember when you're going over learning of the Jewish records, which the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith are, is that you got to have your Jewish calendar with you at all times. Otherwise, you're going to make a big boo-boo and have the wrong Christ. You know, like Jesus. With the wrong religion, you know, like Christianity. And surprisingly, there's a guy who commented on the call-out video I did, who asked where he can find this original Joseph Smith history from the Joseph Smith papers. I thought y'all you youngins knew how to search the web better than I do. So, for those of you who don't know how to search the web for the Jewish calendar, cgsf.org/ and I guess it's the back. How do you see that? Sliding down into the letters on the left. DBeatle, DBEATTIE, the slash, calendar, and a backslash. And it'll take you to the current year, which is 2023. And then you can adjust the Roman year or the Hebrew year. So, on the calendar for the Jews, the 22nd is the 7th of Tishri, the new year. The Jews had the new year on the Sabbath, thus Friday night at 6 p.m. That's when the Jews start their Sabbath. And so, yes, this is the evening of the 6th, which is the 7th of Tishri. And there is no Jewish holy day associated with today. Neither was there for September 11th, which was the 25th of Elul. However, Conference does start a holy day of the Jews. And so, that's why I suspect the day that shall burn as an oven will be Conference weekend. And so, even if it's not, if tonight is Plan B, not Conference weekend, I better get out a video as quick as I can. So, yeah, Joseph was warning us, and he gave us dates in his warning message, as well as in the Book of Mormon. And so we know that Joseph Smith was connected to the Jewish scriptures and the dates in the latter days. On the 14th of October, there is the second day of darkness prophesied in Scripture. And it's over it's over the United States, and it's in Virgo, and thus corresponds with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The church, the bride, because it also goes over Utah, which is, it's bizarre, because it does appear that Brigham Young purposely, blatantly tried to violate all of the good precepts of the Book of Mormon and emulate all of the Korihor, Antichrist, Satan worshiping, following characters instead. But other things changed to conform to prophecy after Brigham Young died. Like the name of the Great Salt Lake. It wasn't originally Salt Lake. And the Lion House and the Beehive House, those weren't the names originally. And so there's some things that make me go, Utah even. It wasn't Utah, it was Deseret, or territory of Mexico. And so, yeah, there's some weirdness going on. And it can be complicated trying to figure out who is responsible for what. And so, just to let you know, be aware, make sure you're prepared, have an emergency kit, and something ready to go with clothing. As I probably should have set the example. I sort of do, but they're not packed at the door. On the 11th, yeah, I was prepared by unplugging things and had water frozen and such, but not as much today as I should, as I'm telling you to. And so maybe I'll have to do something at least to make an effort. But I'm leaning towards conference weekend. And it's because of what Hinckley said in that video clip I've been doing lately, since I found it, on the church website, all by its lonesome, as part of the lesson. And he says that tithing is fire insurance, and that Mormons must obey or they're going to be burned at the second coming. You know, this is the day of the bicentennial year of that second vision of Joseph Smith, talking about the day that shall burn as an oven, not the gospel. God. And that's disturbing. And it should disturb you. And already there was one thumbs down on that video I just did. Nelson's response. Mormons are already starting to deny that they're going to die at the hands of the church. They don't want to believe. No, it can't be true. I will not listen to the end of the video where Travis gets to it, nor will I read the picture of that, because it's fake. They can do fake pictures these days. It's not Nelson's, and I won't go to the church news to confirm that that's what he said. Because I'll be saved in ignorance. Oh, God. But, yeah, I took myself off tangent and got lost. But, yeah, it's disturbing that Nelson is purposely lying still, claiming it's about the gospel, restoration of the gospel, rather than a warning of burning. He doesn't give a damn about your life. He doesn't care about you. This is the frustrating thing that you should be feeling. Nelson has betrayed you. He is not acting like he's supposed to. You know, Amos 3:7. You all know that. And if you have to look it up, shame on you. That's a scripture mastery in Mormonism. In all areas, seminary, institute, and mission. And it's also the topic every year in the Old Testament when it's being taught. Whether it's Sunday school, well, yeah, in Sunday school. And so, yeah, everybody knows about that. And yet, I still see Mormons doing the videos. Oh, when the time comes of destruction, the prophets will go silent. That's when they need to be screaming off the top of their roofs. Like me. And you don't believe in me. I have to do everything for them. They're not prophets, so I have to be the prophet. They're not seers, so I have to be the seer. They're not revelators, so I have to be the revelator for this video. Because we'll touch on it briefly. Because you don't care. And they don't want to be translators, so I am. And Mormons still don't get it. I even have the key of Doctrine and Covenants, section 27, verse 5, combining the stick of Judah and Joseph. And they don't. They say it's the Book of Mormon, which says it's not it. Dear God. So yeah, it's very disturbing that the prophets are that callous and just want to strip you of your money. And Nelson does this in the video by saying, choose diamonds and rubies or the Book of Mormon. Choose. I'll choose diamonds and rubies. I can get the Book of Mormon online. But that's not what he means. He's saying, because I mentioned it in the video, Nelson says he's following the parable of the talents, which the parable of the talents says that the guys who were righteous invested the money in the stock market to hoard money for their Lord. And it's the wicked one who didn't invest into the stock market and violate the SEC. And therefore his one talent was stripped from him and given to the one with $10 trillion of talents that's also laundered into the offshore bank accounts, which was on the episode of NCIS the other day. Hilarious. Oh my God. And so, Hinckley continues on to say that the day that shall burn as an oven, which is the second coming of Jesus, which is today, the bicentennial day, which I'm still thinking is going to be the weekend, that will separate the good from the wicked and the parables associated with it. And so we have the Feast of Harvest of the Jews, and it's associated with the harvest full moon that is on the 29th in the morning, as I already checked my Urim and Thummim to find out. because I saw Time and Date had sent me an email, and so I checked it on my Urim and Thummim, and okay, in the morning on the 29th. And so that's why in the evening begins the feast. If it had been in the evening of the 29th, it would have been, I'm guessing they would have made it the 1st of October, if that was the case. I'd have to see another example of that to confirm, but just so that you know, for this one. And so the Feast of Tabernacles, Sukkot, or Harvest, is in the scriptures, in the books of Moses, talking about it. And it's for the remembrance of the Exodus. And so it has to do with the latter days, because everything that the Jews wrote was about the latter days. They were not literal histories. None of it was. You should not be forcing the Supreme Court to make the Bible the replacement of science. Dear God, what an abomination. And so it goes on for 8 days. The 30th, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. That's 7 days. Right. The evening and the 29th. 8 days. And there's a reason for that. Because the Exodus. Passover of the Jews, which is the other one, which is typically 6 months away. So the beginning of the year, you have the big one called Passover, which is the Exodus. And then about 6 months later, Tabernacles, Harvest, Sukkot, for the gathering. That's what it's all about. This is the gathering, the keys of Moses, the gathering at the latter days, the prophecy. And so, yeah, it's very wild that it's literally being fulfilled, that it wasn't during Passover, but yet it still hasn't happened yet, so. But, because, yeah, there's also a prophecy, pray that it's not in winter time. We're in fall, so it's not winter time. But if he's talking about the Julian calendar, it would be. Maybe. Sort of. Because this is the 9th month, but September means 7th month. So you need to add 2 months from the 7th month, which is the 9th month. You got to take out 3 or 2 months, because the Julian calendar only had 10 months rather than 12 months. And so December, November, so October is the final month of the year. But they moved the names forward so that the 7th month is September, the 8th month is October, the 9th month is November, and the 10th month is December for the Latin names. Septem, Octem, Novem, Decem. And sex is the 6th one. Just had to throw that in there. Any chance I get to talk about the 4-letter word, S-E-X, 4 letters. And so, yeah, the Jews have their thing about building wooden rooms to celebrate in. And in New York, you'll see some Jewish apartments who do build on a wooden attachment if they can. And it's supposed to be on a certain side of the building if they can. And it's getting harder to do for the Jews who are trying to survive in our current economy and economic system of living, with the government failing to regulate the economy to make all of us prosper. And they only want to prosper the rich corporate elites and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So just understand that there is symbolism in what they do that comes from the Bible Torah of Moses. So, 8 days of Passover, and so the Exodus, 8 days. Passion Week, wrongly called by the Christians, 8 days, on purpose, because it has to do with the latter days. And so, 2017, according to John in Revelation chapter 12, verses 1, 2, and 5, 2017 is the first year of the latter days. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. We should expect 2024 to have the final day of darkness, because October 14th is the second day of darkness, and sure enough, there was one in 2017, the first day of darkness. And yep, 8 April 2024, day of darkness number 3, the end of the latter days and the start of the millennium. And it is on a Monday, and it is on the Jewish calendar the final day of the year. Awesome. me. And so, conference starting off on the Saturday, September 30th, for the Feast of Harvest, when Hinckley says that will be a day of harvest of the good from the evil. Almost think that Hinckley knew the date. But leading Mormons to believe that if they attend conference, they'll be saved. They have no clue that they're being led as lambs to the slaughter. You know, like Joseph Smith by the Danites. And so this should concern Mormons. I don't understand why they're not taking this seriously. Where'd you go? Oh, I didn't transfer you over. Where did you go? What happened? Oh, right, because I moved you over to that file. Because I cut and pasted. Yeah, there we are. Okay, that's 8 April. And there it is. Okay. Now I'm getting late on the news. The things I do for you. The things I do for you. And so, yeah, looking at my notes here, I also see a spiritual versus the physical fulfillment. I really am pissed with Windows. They have now added to my picture viewer a list of pictures to view, and that blocks the viewing of the picture. God. All right, so the full moon is on the 29th at 5:46, and I can't get rid of this bottom line to see where I had it located. So pissed with Windows. I mean, how do I get rid of it? Is there a way to get rid of it? I don't want to share. I'm not on social media. God. No, I don't have a Windows account. Alright, anyway. So, the moon, the harvest moon, is at Pisces, at the tail of Cephas, right? Can't see what the name is. The water serpent. And it's on the back of the white horse. Anybody read Revelation chapter 19? This is a pattern for next year. But the moon is a little more to the left of the screen, towards the end of Pisces. But there's something else in its place next year on 8 April 2024. Venus. Venus is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The Great and Abominable Church. The members. The bride of Lucifer. Russell Marion. Baby name meaning. The moon, from the Egyptians, represents religion. Just so you know. And so, the start of the harvest, the full moon for religion, is at the tail of the sea dragon on the back of the white horse. Anybody read Revelation chapter 12, verse 4? Or is it 3? See, 3, dragon, the sign of the dragon, which was Hanukkah in 2017, December 17th? Or, yeah, I think it was 17th. It was the 5th day of darkness, whenever that day was. I think it was the 17th of 2017, of December. The 5th day of darkness. And stars falling from the tail, which I think is verse 4. The Joseph Smith history puts it all with the dragon in verse 4, because it moves verse 5 to verse 3. And so, stars falling from the tail of the dragon, Monson died in 2018. The Quadrantian meteor showers that evening when he died, 10:01 p.m. He died. Nelson took over, fulfilling prophecy, literally. And so here you have the moon at the tail of the sea serpent on the back of the white horse. And there are 2 falling stars, the northern and southern Taurids, the bull. What are they doing way out here in Pisces? But they are. They're there in conjunction with the harvest moon at the tail of the serpent in Pisces, on the back of the white horse, Pegasus. On that day, Mars is at the womb, ready to be born. Lucifer, Nelson. The sun is at the Urim and Thummim of Virgo, Oh, women, why do you let the church shame you? And then Trump is on her head as a crown. And so that really, I'd have to wait to see what Trump pulls on that evening. We'll see. He'll probably make a comment. Yeah, those Mormons, they showed me no love. Right, Mia? You got punked. And so Venus is what we need to pay attention to, because religion. There she is at the mouth of Leo, the lion. Right next to Regulus, the king star. Of Leo, the lion. Fascinating. And it's a symbol of Judah. Phonetically the same as Utah. Like I said, it's amazing how prophecies came to be. Literally being fulfilled here. And so, yeah, that's what we're looking for conference weekend. And yeah, we all know the structure of conference. On the Saturday, usually the second session is where they do the sustaining votes, where you give loyalty to the prophets. No evil speaking of the Lord's anointed, nor taking the name of the Lord in vain. Jesus or Emmanuel. And so, that evening, they tried to get rid of the Saturday evening episode. But the first time they wanted to do that, it was the women's turn. And so we'll have to see if they have something planned for Saturday night. But that's where Mormons will be gathered. And so it's unclear as to whether it'll be the afternoon session with the loyalty oaths or the evening session talking about Joseph Smith and the gospel of the Book of Mormon and kaboom! Which would be very ironic. And very terrifying. And then the 1st of October, when Hales died in 2017. So, yeah, the evening session would be on the 1st for the Jewish calendar, by the way. Just saying. But it would be the second day of harvest rather than the first. So, yeah, we have to wait and see. It's not up to me. It's not up to God. It's up to the evil. As Joseph Smith says, they that come shall burn them. He's talking to us. They that come shall burn us. And we have to wait for them because they're the ones going to do it because that's the prophecy. So if they choose not to do it, okay, great. There's some stuff that's coming out next month. Transformers Rise of the Beast on the 10th on DVD. Kiefer Sutherland's got Rabbit Hole Season 1, and then Titans Season 4, and then there's The Boys Season 3, but I thought I had Season 3, but maybe it was Season 2, but I don't know. That's weird. And then A Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. There's a Hollywood strike. We're never going to see Part 2. Just like with Fast X. We're never going to see Fast 11. There's a Hollywood strike. The day that you'll burn as an oven is coming. Bastards. Does he survive with his son? And the dam breaks? I don't know. using that in the theme song below.